Hi, my name is Becky with A Better Way to Homeschool, and I am bringing you this How to Homeschool guide. There's a few things I'd like to share with you today. The first one is that there is no such thing as one size fits all when it comes to homeschooling. There's no magic curriculum. There's no magic combination of subjects and resources that will allow your student to thrive in the same way that my students thrive. So with that being said, I need you to understand that homeschooling is extremely personal. Your family, your dynamics, your children, your learning styles, their learning styles all blend together to make your homeschooling experience both the most rewarding but also the most challenging. So there are a few tips and guidelines that I'd like to pass on in my 10 or 15 years, 15 years of homeschooling. I've gleaned some amazing pearls of wisdom from the veteran homeschoolers around me. The first one is that educational goals are much more important than curriculum. And what I mean by that is that it's more important for me to have a goal that my children master their math facts than it is for me to choose XYZ math book and for them to do page 14 on any given day. So the first step in homeschooling is to establish a set of goals that you, your family, and your child would complete that school year. And for example, my own personal goals for my children within our family are that they do master their math facts, that they become saturated with amazing literature, then that they excel at written and oral communication. And we do that by weaving in their passions and the things that excite them into those areas of discipline. Now, the next thing is that there are many ways to teach any given subject. There's the old textbook and work page type style and there's so much curriculum out there available that there's almost too much to even look at. But there's other ways. There's hands-on activities, there's science experiments, there's picture books and trade books, there are field trips and museums, and that the best way, in my opinion and in the opinion of the veterans around me, is to take your educational goals that you have for your children and your family and then to customize the books and experiences that you expose your child to so that they feed into that goal or that area of passion that your child has. Now, remember, there are many ways to teach any one subject. So once you learn that you can teach addition, subtraction, and multiplication, and division with something like M&Ms or Cheerios, or you decide that it would be amazing for your child to go to a space planetarium or to go to a stargazing event when they're learning about the solar system, once you learn that, it's really hard to go back to a textbook work page style of learning. So I would encourage you to be creative and to look for out-of-the-box opportunities for your student to study whatever it is on your goal list. The more they can touch, the more they can see, the more they can hear and feel and even taste, the more they'll remember. So always try and ignite all 5 of the senses as you're teaching any subject, and it's okay if those things take longer than it would if you were going to complete just a simple worksheet. The next thing is that you need to be a student of your student. Everybody has a different learning style, and there are many books out there that can teach you about the different learning styles of your student. And it's important that over the first couple years of your homeschooling experience that you study the way that your child learns, because it becomes much easier to spoon feed them education and experiences that mesh with how their brain works, rather than if it's a mismatch. If you're trying to teach somebody that listens or learns by auditory learning, which means that they hear it and they learn it, if you try to teach an auditory learner by a visual explanation, you're going to bump into some frustration and learning challenges. So take the time to learn about the different learning styles, the visual, the auditory, the kinesthetic, and then to learn how to apply different types of activities to reach each of those areas, and it will help your student learn and retain more information. The next thing is that you would want to embrace learning through books and literature. Now, I don't mean textbooks. I mean that if you're studying the Civil War, that you look for historical fiction novels written about the Civil War, or you look for picture books that talk about the Civil War, and you look for the books about the time period and the climate and what it was like on a southern plantation and life for a Union soldier or a Confederate soldier. And you embrace the subject that you're learning by exposing your child to a wide variety of different genres or different styles of literature. And it makes every subject come alive when you do that. Very different than reading an excerpt from a textbook rather than watching a National Geographic special or pulling up 6 different trade books that talk about 6 different areas of that time period. There are trade books, which are picture books. There are children's stories. There are historical fiction. There are science-based novels. There are math-based books. So anything that you're trying to teach your child, you can find applicable books. And I would highly recommend that you get to know your local librarian and that you use their skill set in order to help you find books that are applicable to what it is you're learning. One of the last things is that you need to invest in your child as a homeschooler. When at all possible, find bookshelves within your home that you can dedicate for your child and for their learning, or bins or baskets or however your home is organized. But take the time to find precious books about what it is they're actually learning and supply them with books that they can peruse and browse and devour at their leisure. And this will add greatly to their education. And in addition to books, look for local events, museums, and opportunities within your state, or if you have the means to travel further somewhere within the country that reinforces what you're learning as well. And the last thing I'd like to share with you today is to get support within your local community, online, or even through your local school district. They can connect you with someone who is a veteran in homeschool. It may take a while for you to find the right connections, but it's important through your journey to find 1 or 2 veteran homeschool families that you can bounce ideas off, glean wisdom, gain encouragement on those days where it's a hard struggle. And we really do kind of work like a network and a family. So that's the end of this basic homeschool guide. I know it's not a by this curriculum, by that curriculum, but it's not about that. It's about you taking the time to study your student and study your family, and then putting together experiences, field trips, books, and activities that will light up those areas that they're most interested in. Have a great time exploring and enjoying your journey in homeschool.